Hello everybody, we've got 4 new European style enclosures, so we'll be able to add to the stack with the Homoioma species blue. Actually have 6 tarantulas that have the potential to move in here, so we're going to kind of go over them. I think I pretty much have decided who's going to go in here right now, and if I like the way that these guys go in here, and not actually go in there, but how they live in here, then I will probably order a couple more for some of these other ones. They are kind of nice. They're not as acrylic, they're not as see-through as the other ones are, but for these type of tarantulas, it's not that big of a deal. We can take the lid off and be okay. For the most part, we don't have to worry about them taking off on us or anything else like that. We'll also do some updates on some things. We had 3 tarantulas molt over the last 4 tarantulas molt over the last 4 days. Found a jumping spider, a different one. I haven't even looked up what kind it is yet. I don't know if we'll be able to get a view of it, but it's in here, but it's up top. You can see it up top there if you can focus on it. So I have to do a little bit of research on that one and figure out exactly which one it is, and then move it to something different. It's not going to get any bigger than that. That's about as big as it's going to be, but apparently there's a whole handful of them. Not a whole handful, but a whole bunch of them running around the house here. And I've only seen this type of jumping spider once before here. So it's kind of cool to see, something prosper a little bit more in this area. So yeah, let's just get on with what we're going to do as far as moving. And I've got to come up with some decent hides for these things to make it a little bit more naturalistic. So let me show you what we can put in there, first of all. Okay, so let's just kind of go over the 6 that I have ideas on. One, I'm probably not going to do, only because of the quickness that it grows in. It probably will regrow that in a couple molts anyway. So we'll probably just leave it in what it's in right now, and then just bump it up to a larger display case as it grows a little bit quicker. But we have the Brachypelma hamori. We also have the Grammostola porteri, which I believe is a male based on the molt. This one molted not too long ago. And we also have the Brachypelma baumgarteni, which I think would be pretty good in those. The Grammostola rosea, which also just molted a little while back. These guys have been molting pretty much simultaneously. At least within quick succession of each other, within like a week or two. And then we have the Lasiodorides polycuspalitis, and then the last one down the bottom is the Pamphobedius antoneus. Now that's the one that I'm debating, because I know that they grow quicker, and I don't know how much size it's going to put on in this next mold. It probably will be fine in there because it's actually the smallest out of all 5 of these. Well, it's probably close to the polycuspalitis, maybe a little bit smaller. So it is the smallest of the 5, but you guys know how long it takes for Grammostola and Brachypelma to gain size. So if you look at the Baumgarteni, which is roughly about the size of both the Grammostola species and the Brachypelma hamori, there, they're all roughly the same size. So I think those are the 4 that I'm going to move. And then if I like that, then I'm going to get another 1 or 2 for definitely the Lasiodorides polycuspalitis, and probably the Grammostola grossa would be another one that could move into that, but not yet. It took forever to molt this time, and it finally did molt. I don't know if I put that in a video. I think I did. So yeah, that would probably be the next candidate that would move in after another molt yet. It's still got time. So let's show you what we'll have 4 of these open, plus 1 that's already abandoned, and I think I have another one of these floating around somewhere that hasn't been used yet. Or maybe I did use it for the Solenocosmia cavariki. So let me show you what we're going to move up into these enclosures when we vacate some of these real quick. Okay, so these will be the 5 that will move up from the baseball cubes into the softball enclosures, and then baseball cubes we'll be using for the Ceratojaurus sanderi, the Chilobrachys species electric blue, and the Brachypelma auratum will move up into these, and we'll be out of the matchbox enclosures until the Lasiodora klugi, and not the klugi, but the Difficillus and the other Idiothelomira will be ready. I'd like to actually use one of those. I don't have any of the matchbox enclosures that aren't cut yet, or not cut but not drilled yet. If I did, I would probably cut and put a hinge on it for the Tapinocenius gigas, but I got to find something to put that one in, because I don't like the deli cup that it's in. But that bugger is just going, he's just madly moving around that enclosure. Hasn't webbed a thing, but likes to roam. And I'd like to put it in a 50 dram vial, but I'm all out of them, because I shipped the rest of the last two Chromatopelma cyaneopubescent males that I shipped out. I shipped out in the 50 dram vials, so I'm all out of those as far as I'm aware of. So I don't really want to put the T. gigas into one of these, because it's basically just a bigger deli cup. You know, I want something that's a little bit taller, that has a little less circumference room to put it in. So these 5 will be moving, and then, like I said, those other 3 that I said before that are in the matchbox enclosures will be moving up to these. I think all of the Difficillus have molted except for 2, so 5 of the 7 that are left have molted. The Dolichothele diamentinensis molted again like a week and a half ago. That one's doing real well. That one will be ready to move to soon into a baseball enclosure. I'm going to skip the matchbox enclosure and go right to one of these baseball cube enclosures for it. So let me show you now the guys that molted. Okay, the first up, there's no order in which these molted in, by the way. It's just ones that have molted over the last handful of days that I've actually found. I found this guy this morning. The molt is still behind it. This is the Selenocosmia Cavoriki. So I'm pretty excited about that. I knew it was going to molt. You can see now it's got some of the colorings, the dark colorings, and the banding on the leg. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I would say it's probably a couple days out of molt. It's been such a hectic last week or so. It has been kind of crazy since the weekend, and I'll explain some things after we get through with all these guys that molted. Okay, the next one is the Psalmopoeus cambridgei, and like I said, I told you when I got it, I knew it was in pre-molt, so it did molt. I think 3 days ago is when 3 or 4 days ago is when I noticed it. You can see the molt. You can't see the molt below it. You're just seeing the tarantula right there. There's the molt playing on the ground there, and you can see what it's done. It had a web mat here, and it's made this tunnel up here. So this is probably where we're going to get our feedings. You know, we'll just put something up in the top and let it come down when it's ready to feed, and we'll get our feedings in the video that way. I haven't videoed crap since the last video. I mean, I haven't even filmed any footage whatsoever. This is the first footage I'm actually filming since the last video that I put up, which is not like me. I usually video some stuff here and there just to have footage, but I haven't. So let's get on with the last 2 molts that I found. Okay, I know you can't see her very well, but this is the Ceratojaurus darlingi female. We're trying to find out for sure if she's mature. Her spermathecae looks sclerotized, but I'm not so sure about her, you know, the whole entire area, the uterus externus. To me, it just doesn't. I mean, we can try her, and I have a couple people I know that have males that want to send them to me. So Ian had contacted me a long time ago first about doing, and I think he's taking his female to Ruth, or his male to Ruth this weekend. And if he's there, she's moving around back there. If everything goes well, then he'll have Ruth mail him to me, and we'll try him. That's all we really can do. But I do want to move her out of this enclosure into her final enclosure, which will most likely be either one of those down there, or the not the softball, but the volleyball display case that is the same as this kind of display case, you know, that's nice acrylic. I'm trying to debate if I want to put her in that, so I just need someplace to put that, and I have to make sure that that's available. So I can put that enclosure on top of the Balfours, and still have ventilation going into the Belfories, and then put the Canthognathus Frankie on top of her enclosure, and that'll take up the extra space over there that was taken up by the snapping turtle that we let go. So you know, that's a quaint possibility. Sorry for the unfocus. I didn't realize it was unfocused, even though you really can't see anything. So she molted. I found her molt about, I don't know, probably 3 days ago. It was still kind of pliable, so I would say she molted within the last 5 days. That would be my guess. So we'll get the last one out, and this one's going to be a little tricky. Okay, so here was the last one that molted. This is the Nandu Colorado Velocis, now mature male. We've been waiting all year for this guy to mature, and he is still absolutely stunning. There is no dulling out of these species. They still retain their coloring. Same thing with Chromatus, Tripepe, Carapoensis. Noticed him yesterday, as a matter of fact. His molt is still somewhat soft, so I'm going to say within the last 3 days. His molt it wasn't completely soft, because one of the legs is actually laying in the enclosure right now. So it did break off pretty easily. Not his leg, but the molt leg. Don't even have to check the molt. It's 100% confirmed male. He's got the bulbous pedipalps. There's emboli are located, and he's got the hooks on his front legs. Other than that, you wouldn't know. There is no super long legginess. He is leggy, don't get me wrong, but he's not leggy like my Nandu Chromatus was, where it seems like his legs were the bulk of the tarantula. This guy is all beast. This is all tarantula. This right now is probably maybe the Parabon is probably still a tad bit bigger. Maybe, I don't know. Pretty stinking big though. A good solid 6 inches, at least, stretched out. So we'll be looking forward to pairing him with my female. Probably, I would say, in the next 30 to 45 days. So probably sometime towards the end of August, middle of August, would probably be the likelihood of where we'll start looking at doing that. Hopefully he destroys this molting mat, so when he does make sperm web, we'll be able to catch that, or at least know that he's done it. Yeah, so actually right now he's being very, very placid and calm. I'm very, very surprised, to be honest with you. I'm so surprised that I'm actually sitting here saying, you know, David, you never even grabbed a catch cup. So yeah, that's it, really. Things have been busy. That's why I haven't been around. You know, things have been busy, and I've been a little unmotivated also. It's just heat and tired and medication and other stuff that play into all that stuff. But we're trying to get the Venezuelan tarantula tour video done, and the Chilean. No, you just stay. You can lift those legs up all you want, but you just stay in your enclosure. That's the rules. So, but my Venezuelan sun tiger is being very, very uncooperative for filming. I actually tried to film it earlier today, and it shoots down into its burrow. I let it go for a little over an hour or so, and then it comes popping back out again. And I try to grab it, and she takes off again. I'm pretty sure it's a she. Look, ventrally she, by the way. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, so that's really it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget all the other stuff that goes on at the end, the bell, comment, the like, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this guy. He's absolutely stunning. I wish there was a way for me to measure him without him going freaking nuts, but I like to say he's 6 inches. Those legs got to be at least 2.5 inches each. At least. He's a good looking guy. I'm pretty pleased with the way he turned out. He's all watered up. We'll probably feed him here in another week. He should be ready to mow down on something, and once he does that, then he'll start getting those juices going and building a sperm web, because he sits right on top of the female right now, and he has since we got him, really. His enclosure sits on top of the female's enclosure. So what we'll do when we pair these is we'll put up our tent outside. It's a 12-person tent. We'll bring the tables out there. We'll bring some electricity out there with us, and we'll plug everything in. We'll film it all up, and this way, if they do decide to take off on us, they're only going to run around in the tent instead of trying to, running around here in the bedroom. We don't want that. So I'd rather do it safer that way than, him going in trying to mate and then her being unreceptive and chasing him out and then him getting away. I don't want him running around my bedroom at all. I don't know that I would sleep very well at night knowing this big Goliath guy is hanging around. So we'll see everybody later, and happy keeping.